Today is a Monday in Auburn. Not my usual day to fly, but I have to go to Oakland for a round tripper. And it's IFR in Oakland, last reported 700 overcast. So we will do another IFR flight, and maybe I'll try to consolidate the two flights into one short video. We'll see how it goes. So let's see the weather here in Auburn.
More than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000 feet. Temperature 29 Celsius. 2.12 Celsius. Altimeter 3006 inches of mercury. Remarks, density altitude 3,300 feet.
So I'm going to go here and wait for the wind. It's calm, so I'll use 7, but let's see what it
Auburn
says.
Municipal Airport, automated weather observation 1557 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
Okay.
Visibility
We'll use runway 7.
10. Sky condition clear below.
I got the other information. Okay, turn this off. Okay, got that. So we're going to, as usual, pick up our IFR in the air. And we're going to use the CRAFT acronym. C-R-A-F-T-T. And that means cleared to, route, altitude, frequency, time, transponder, and then time. I wonder who's clicking the, probably the helicopter here, the CHP. Anyway, so you know, you're never too old to learn, So I got a couple suggestions. One is turn the rotating beacon on before you start the plane so people around you know it's starting. I don't do that normally because I'm afraid of a spike from the alternators to the beacon, but I might try doing it now. And the other one was, and I'm real careful about it, is getting in lineup and wait position.
Auburn traffic, special field truck center runway 4, runway inspection. Moving in west to east, Auburn traffic.
All right, so he's going to check the runway. That's good. Anyway, so the other one is line up and wait on an uncontrolled field. Not the smartest idea. I only do it when I know I'm going to get off really quick and that I've checked the pattern for anyone coming in. So, anyhow, I'm going to do the checklist. I'll be back on. Field truck checking the runway at Auburn. You still on the runway? Oh, yeah, he is. I see him.
This is still check on runway. Yeah, I'm nearly finished. I'll be off in...
Okay, we're going to wait for him to finish before we take off. And we'll stay short of the runway.
Auburn traffic, November 7954 Golf will be coming in from the southwest.
Auburn traffic, this is special field truck, clear runway at east end for runway inspection.
Auburn traffic, Twin Cessna 331 Quebec, taking runway 7, right crosswind departure, departing the area to the south. We'll look for the inbound Auburn. All right, time, check. Transponder, check. Traffic, check. DG, double check. Fuel pumps on. Brakes on. Full power. I like it. Sounds good, looks good, feels good. Bingo, we go. Auburn traffic, Twin Cessna 1 Quebec, on the roll, runway 7, right crosswind departure, departing area to the south, Auburn. Heels on the floor off the brakes, looking for 100, or 60, 70, 80. 90 is red line, and there is 100. Just pull it off, a little back pressure, it'll fly right off the runway. Tap the brakes. Now we tap the brakes to stop them from spinning, so when they go up into the wheel wells, they're not flicking any dirt that you have in there or having the rubber hit the wheel wells. So we'll climb to 700 AGL before our turn here. Auburn traffic, Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, turning right crosswind off of runway 7, departing area to the south, Auburn. Okay, inbound, let's hear ya.
Auburn air traffic, CHP helicopter 24, departing Pearl, taxiway 07, straight out departure to the east from Auburn. Get the twin in sight, no factor.
Southwestbound traffic inbound, or southwest traffic inbound Auburn, what's your position now?
Auburn traffic 54 Golf, we are 2 mile 45. We're going to use runway 25. Is there anyone waiting on runway 7?
No. CHP just took off upwind on 7. No one waiting on either one.
We got you and we have CHP in sight. We'll be downwind here shortly. Left traffic runway 25, Auburn.
Okay, good. Have a good landing, and we're climbing now. Okay, so that's good. We got good communication there. All right, so we're going to turn the fuel pumps off one at a time. Get kind of set up here for cruise before we call up, or cruise climb before we call up center. Center or departure. If you don't know if it's NorCal or Oakland Center or Sacramento approach or Stockton approach, I'm using all the old names. You just say departure. I happen to know it's NorCal, but and we're switching. NorCal, good morning. Twin Cessna 3318Qavi off Auburn, climbing through 3,600. Got an IFR in the system, ready to copy clearance. Not to swallow. So I'm trimmed up, no autopilot, this is just the plane trimmed up.
November 3318 Quebec, NorCal approach, squawk 4532.
4532, 18 Quebec. Okay, 4532, we'll put that in the transponder under the first T. 4532, we know we're going to be cleared to Oakland, so we're going to put OAK in. And I know what it's going to be, but let's guess. I mean, let's not guess, let's see.
November 18 Quebec, radar contact 4 miles south of Auburn, Sacramento, altimeter 3001, verify your altitude.
18 Quebec passing through 4,300 now. All right, so he's looking up the IFR right now. He's punching it in. He's getting ready to call me back to give me the clearance.
Departure Southwest 4143, passing to 1,500, climbing data foot
Southwest 4143, NorCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 9,000.
9,000, Southwest 4143.
So this is a good example of the plane being trimmed up properly.
NorCal Tanker 83 starting the descent into McClellan.
Tanker 83, roger.
So I'm not touching anything, we're just climbing on course.
November 70 Tango, contact approach on 123.7. Have a good day.
Hey, 237, 70 Tango, thanks.
There's a little bit of a turn to the right, so we're going to
Well, approach Centurion 732 Golf Sierra, descending through 9,800.
November 732 Golf Sierra, NorCal approach, good afternoon. November 3318 Quebec, cleared to Oakland via direct, Sonol, then direct, climb and maintain 7,000.
18 Quebec, cleared to Oakland, direct, Sonol, direct, 7,000. 18 Quebec, leaving 5,500. Okay, that's simple, huh? There's your instructions. I've got my en route chart here. No batteries needed. And I'm going to expect the ILS for 28 right into Oakland, but we have the other charts if we need them. And let's put the reminder on 7. Okay. We're going to get up in cruise and get back on.
4143, climb and maintain flight level 190.
And we'll get back.
190, Southwest 4143.
And we'll get back on the camera. We're level here at 7,000, our assigned altitude. We're just over Mather Air Force Base, Mather, whatever you want to call it. So I'm thinking about, the planes I've been in.
Copter 202.
And learned in. So I remember my first flight, and I trained in a 152, November 25302. Funny how you remember the tail numbers from 30 years ago. Trained in that, and then that was a little uncomfortable. Two guys, you're kind of like this, like a little, Volkswagen or worse. I like Volkswagens. Anyway, there goes the altitude.
And NorCal, copter 202.
It was just Copter 202.
Yeah, Cal Fire Copter 202.
So then,
Well, actually,
the flying club in Oakland, Oakland Flyers, had a 172 November with a 180 horsepower conversion of a Lycoming 0360, which is a good conversion. It gives it more horsepower than the 320 horsepower. And that was 67907 Echo. And I got most of my training in that, my IFR training. And I ended up buying the plane from the guy that owned it and left it in the club. It flew a lot. It flew like 100 hours a month. And so it paid for itself. It even paid for a new engine, a $10,000 engine, you know, because of the time. I did it before it went out. And I sold it for $5,000 more than I bought it for. And then I went up to a Centurion, a Cessna 210, because I wanted 6 seats, even though the back 2 were like kid seats, but I had small kids then. And I liked this 210, especially because it was turbo, and it had the power to go. And it only had one engine. And I wanted to keep going with my training and get my multi-engine rating. And so 1264 Golf was a 310 Golf that was also an Oakland Flyers that I got my twin training in. And like my instructor said, Dave Atlas was my instructor in there, he said, speed is addicting. And he's right, because the twin Cessna goes faster than a 210, even though a 210 with the retractable gear, turbocharged, went pretty fast and high.
202, contact approach 125.4, good day.
25.4
And so, from that...
Number 18 Quebec, contact approach 125.25, good day.
20 Quebec, 2525, thanks, and full. I'll continue in a second.
Number 5753, Roger.
Good morning, Twin Cessna 331 Quebec, checking in, level 7000.
November 331 at Quebec, NorCal approach, Roger.
Alright, so, got this plane in 1993, and I've been flying it ever since. I got probably, I don't know exactly, a couple thousand, probably 2,200 hours sitting in this one seat. So you get to know the plane pretty well. When we went to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl one year, we rented a plane, an old Geronimo in Oahu, and flew it around to Lanai overhead, landed in Maui because my brother was puking his guts out, and then flew back to Oahu. I did have a trip to Hawaii before where we rented a 172, and you flew single engine around the islands, but you didn't have flight following, and you just had common air traffic frequencies, and I wasn't comfortable in a single. I don't want to be shark bait. So that's where it's at. I did get my commercial rating and in this plane, and instrument rating and all that happy stuff. So we're waiting for the next frequency. I think it's going to be 125.1. Can't get Oakland's weather yet. Let's see. Very scratchy. We'll wait and see. We're locked in at 7,000. We'll turn the volume back up.
24, JetBlue 266 all.
54-3 Charlie, contact Travis approach 126.6.
And be back on shortly. Off camera, I got the ATIS for Oakland. Information Delta, wind 260 at 3, 1,000 feet overcast. They are using
3223 to maintain 5,000.
They are using the ILS for 28 right and 30. And the Oakland DME is out. Oakland VOR is out of service. And that is part. No, it's not part of the mist. The Rebus is off the Skag. So Oakland. So we're going to rely more on backup. We'll have DME on the localizer, and we'll have backup on the VFR GPS. So while we're sitting here in cruise, waiting for the next controller, this is a true story. Okay? This is a true story. There were these two controllers that were neighbors. They lived next door to each other, and they happened to be on the flight path into the airport that one flew out of, and the other guy was a controller. And he was a commercial air carrier pilot. I don't know, one of the United or somewhat American, one of those. Anyway, so they would joke on the frequency, and they were both married. And so the one pilot who's flying in checks in and realizes it's his neighbor. And as they go over this house, the pilot says to the neighbor, "Hey, looks like there's some cars in your driveway. Is your wife home?" Trying to rib him a little bit. And the controller, with his comeback, he said, "Yeah, your driveway was full." 125.1, one in Quebec. He says, your driveway was full, so they parked in mine. That, I understand the true story.
4, Roger. Report established inbound.
Report established inbound, establish 454.
4 Kilo Victor, contact approach 124.32. 2432, 4 Kilo Victor, so on. Bye-bye.
NorCal, good morning. Twin Cessna 331 in Quebec. Checking in 7,000, as Hank Stram said, percolating for Sunol. That's for you, bud.
Did you say Hank Stram?
Yeah, he was the Kansas City chief coach. He used the word percolating on all the NFL films.
Matriculating, that's correct. He did use that term. Stockton altimeter 3001, turn 10 degrees right, vectors final.
1 in Quebec, turn 10 degrees right, vectors for final. Okay, that was good. Okay, now Sunol's out of the question now, or out of the system, so we're on a vector.
Yes, I do.
So,
Can you share it?
He's not a factor for you, sir. I would let you know about him. He's about 15 miles southwest of you.
Okay.
that reminds me, the controller, the guy said there was a plane nearby. And early in my career, I was flying, and there was a plane that was nearby. And I called the controller, and, you know, I don't think I was a student pilot, but I was a rookie. And like, hey, you didn't call this traffic. And he said, no, I didn't call the traffic because he was more than 1,000 feet away from you and 500 feet or more.
Quebec, descend and maintain 6,000.
One Quebec 6,000 now. And so, after I said that, the guy got on the frequency and called out 4 targets that were no factor, but he was like, okay, kid, take this. Traffic 2 o'clock, 8 miles, 6,000. Traffic 4 o'clock, 6 miles, 3, whatever. I'm like, okay, I won't do that again.
Radar services terminated. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Okay, Squawk IFR, so on, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to triculate towards Oakland. So there's our 6,000. I'm anticipating the next frequency, 2535. We're just crossing over Antioch Bridge. Oakley is below us. Antioch Bridge is over there. Oakley's a little bit back. To the right, Brentwood straight ahead. And we're 10 minutes from our intersection, so probably on the next descent instructions, I will start to lower the power and start cooling off the engines.
November 008, the traffic's no longer observed.
X008.
And NorCal, it sounds a little quiet there, so 1 in Quebec, I know you're about to hand me off to 2535, but just wanted to save you some time. Don't look up that phraseology of triculation in your FAA handbook.
You don't have to worry about it. You have, well, let me look around here. You got the oldest guy in the area, and I just was verifying that you said Hank Stram. And I'm familiar with the term.
Oh, good. Somebody else has got some gray hair today. Okay.
Quebec, matriculate to Grove intersection.
1A Quebec, heading for Grove, thanks.
1A Quebec, contact approach 125.35. Have a great day.
2535, have a good day. So long.
There are 2 golf.
Well, he got it wrong. He said matriculating. Bud, tell him it's triculating. All right, we're heading for Grove. I'm guessing 210. NorCal, good morning. Twin Cessna 331 in Quebec. Checking in 6,000, heading for Grove.
Number 3318 Quebec, NorCal approach, good morning. The open altimeter 3007, expect ILS.
1 in Quebec, I got the ILS in front of me. Okay, so I don't want to change everything around to find Grove, so I'm going to do a little backup here. We're going to go nearest intersection and see if it shows up. I'm guessing it's like 210 on heading. It doesn't show up. All right, now we'll put it in here and see what I got here. Because without Oakland's the VOR, Grove is bearing 200. So all right, so I'm off a little bit.
For 1A Quebec, just going to maintain 5,000.
1 Quebec, leaving 6 for 5,000 now. The Grove is 11.9 DME from Oakland, but Oakland's out of service. See if I can get it. Okay, so I'm getting it. Let's identify it.
10. Flight reports are requested. Contact flight service for additional details. Hazardous weather within a 15.
All right, I'll call that identified. So let's hold it. Go back to the ILS and continue down to 5,000 here. So what I say Grove was 11.9. So we're ticking it down. When we hit 11.9, that'll be Grove. And I got the backup on my GPS here.
For 1A Quebec, going to maintain 4,000.
1 Quebec, 4,000.
And 1A Quebec, fighting of 180, quick jog for sequence with the south field.
Okay, 1 Quebec, 180, and what was that about the south field?
When the field is IFR, we have to stagger the arrivals, the north and south field. Usually we can run simultaneous ops, so when it's IFR conditions, we got to make sure you guys are in trail.
Yeah, is it 3 or 5 miles in trail to keep the separation?
It's 3 miles.
Okay, thanks. All right, so 3 miles in trail. I think 5 miles in trail is when it's visual. So you learned something else today. 3 miles in trail. I kind of knew that, but I wasn't sure. Good time to ask it is when it comes up. All right, so 4,000, and might as well start slowing down. No need to go fast. I'll go ahead and turn the gas on, because we got the old gumps. Gas, undercarriage, mixer, prop, speed. So no problem turning the gas on early. So I got the electric fuel pumps on, and I'm on the mains. Now the reason why we put the electric fuel pumps on is if you're near the ground and the engine starts to die because of a faulty...
1 Quebec to maintain 3,400.
1 Quebec 3,400 now. That's the final for the sector. Anyway, you don't want your engines to die close to the ground. Not good. Let's keep slowing down here. But we're going away from the airport also, so that turn to Grove is, I mean, Pine Grove is out of the picture now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to they'll probably give me a vector and tell me to intercept the localizer and cleared for the approach and maintain at a certain altitude until established. That's my guess. Pretty standard. So I'm going to go ahead and put the RPMs up to 2,500 I don't want to put them all the way forward. Let's put them 2,500 because we're in that descent. Now, 3,400, don't bust it. Stay a little bit above it.
18 Quebec is 2.5 miles to go, flighting 250, maintain 3,400. Still established on the localizer, cleared ILS, 28 right approach.
1 Quebec, 250 on the heading, 3,400 still established, cleared to the ILS, 18 Quebec. Okay, so that's good. We're trying to put the tower in, number 2. We're going to turn till the needles come in. Needles are coming in, so I'm going to steepen the turn up just a hair. Forget the 250 now because we've already got it. And we're 3,400. We're inside the dot. We're established, but we're going to stay there until the glide slope comes in. So, oh, it's a good. He did a good turn. Good turn. There's a glide slope. There's a localizer. Oh yeah, that's the way. I like it. So we're going to go ahead and do the ILS even though I have the field in sight now. I can kind of see it under the clouds. So we'll keep slowing down.
1 Quebec, maintain 160 knots or less. Contact with the tower 118.2.
1 Quebec will slow down and go into tower 1836. Tower, good morning. Twin Cessna 331 in Quebec, checking in on the ILS. Trying to slow down. Airport is in sight.
Twin Cessna 331 in Quebec, Oakland Tower, roger, runway 28 right, clear to land.
1 Quebec, clear to land, 28 right. How about the speed?
Twin Cessna 37343, contact NorCal departure, good day. Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, you said you have the airport site?
Airport in sight for 1 Quebec.
Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, clear visual approach, runway 28 right, and speed your discretion.
1 Quebec, roger that. We'll stay in the ILS and put the nose down. Okay, so they wanted me to slow down, so I had to pull up the nose, and that took me right up the glide slope, because I was right on the glide slope. And now I'm going to, I'm clear for the visual, but I'll just run the needles just to make sure everything's as it should be.
And Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, traffic 1 moving 12 o'clock, 4 miles, southeastbound along the freeway, crossing through your final to Cherokee 600.
1 Quebec, looking for the traffic. I bet you he's heading for the left.
Cherokee 84 Mike, it's traffic on a 5-mile funnel for 2-way right, Twin Cessna 2200 descending. Traffic 84 Mike.
All right, so I got the power back. Let's go back some more. I'm on the localizer, but on high for the glide slope. Man, I gotta watch the Cherokee, who's look like he's sneaking in under the weather. Want to come back? No joy on the Cherokee.
84 Mike has that traffic site.
Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, no back for the Aviation site.
1 Quebec. Okay, if you say so. I'm still looking for him.
Cherokee 84 Mike, radar restriction change to Hayward Tower today.
Oh, he's going to Hayward.
Hayward Tower, 84 Mike.
Well, I'm looking anyway. And I'm really a little bit behind here.
Airport 10, procedures requested, cross runway 338 Foxtrot.
Crossing 338 Foxtrot.
1 Quebec, is 33 available?
Twin Cessna 18 Quebec, affirmative, runway 28 right, cleared for the option, runway 33 cleared to land.
1 Quebec, cleared to land 33. All right, so even though I haven't dropped the gear yet, I'm on the glide slope, I'm slowing down. Here's the look. I'll give you the look at minimums. There's the first notch of flaps, 15 degrees. So if Oakland is IFR, you can go down, drop the gear. This is it. This is what you get for minimum. So I've gone here and missed before. Okay, gas check. I think here's got a green. Mixer's up, props up. We'll drop the flaps. So I'm going to turn to the runway 33. with the flaps down and going this low to the ground, you got to be sure you keep your speed up and you're coordinated. That's the main thing. You don't want to have an accelerated stall. That's also not good. All right, we're all set to go here. And let's make the turn here. The passengers love this turn. Ooh, a little overshoot. And a correction. And put the left wheel down. Oh, another smooth one. Sorta. All right. Get that nice cool air out there. Okay. Gonna ask me where I park.
Want to Quebec clear of 3-3 for the new T's.
So this is the one at Quebec, taxi to park via Delta with me. Good day.
Want to Quebec, thanks, and talk to you on the way out.
Okay, that's another flight. I don't think I'll round trip it. That's too much to do a double. I might skip the flight home, but you never know what you're going to find on the flight and what you're going to learn on the flight. Thanks for riding along.